Okay. I would sure like to see my channel. The context started a new chat. Let me just make sure my recording is working. Sorry. I apologize, folks. I'm learning quite a bit. Okay, I think my audio level is good. You're going to hear my keyboard. I apologize. All right, I'll just go back and show you the entire conversation. So I wanted to do a visual aid for this class to talk about how do you find your right LLM. And I forgot that Claude does not keep tabs on you, which is probably a good thing. So you do need to give it a little bit of a prompt. Now, when I use my custom project, I have a file in there that reminds it every time who I am, but that's okay. So I said, new conversation, could you interview me to answer the questions you have? I find this very useful. If the LLM asks me 9 questions, I'm not going to answer them all at once. I'm going to lose focus. So I said, how do you like to do it? And I told it how I like to do things, which I described earlier as put on the same music I listened to in grad school and just jam for a while. And typically I end up with several products I need. Some of them occasionally even relate to the thing I originally started doing. Is that particularly functional? Not really, but I'm going to go with that. However, I like to break things and fix them because I'm a programmer. Some people find breaking things extremely stressful and they freak out. And I always know that I have a GitHub which has the last changes I made all revisioned, so I can't do anything other than go destroy my account that would actually be destructive to my information. I can just try a million things and keep the 3 that work. Okay? This drives some of my students absolutely insane, and also some of my coworkers. As I mentioned, we had students ask how I could help organize my thoughts. And I have a particular issue with process-oriented learners who are very detail-oriented, because I'll say, in this assignment, I'd like you to go play in the park and prove that you had fun. And they'll say, do you need photos? Do I need video? Is 1080p enough, or do I need 4K? I'm unclear if I need to bring a dog or should I purchase a dog first, okay? That's how it feels to me, because I'm sloppy and loose and like to just get by on improvisation, okay? That's why I will never be a manager, I hope, because I don't think that way. But David Teeter is amazing at it, so I don't have to. So now I said, hey, I know how Dad would think. I understand how Dad thinks. Tell me how Dad would think about it. And it said, a classic cognitive apprenticeship model meeting differentiated learning needs. Constructivist learning theory, so these are some things I might research. And what this is saying essentially is when these people engage with me, they're not nitpicking, they're trying to proceed. So they're already doing the assignment, and I think of them as trying to nitpick for high grades. Do you know why I do that? Because I went to Duke, I was pre-med, and the students there didn't care if they ever understood why people needed to breathe, as long as they got an A on an exam. So maybe I have some deep-seated emotional issues about that, right? Because my students aren't like that. They're very cool. When they ask a lot of questions, they want to learn, right? But that's just me discussing the thoughts. So this is interesting, I think. So I'm into instructional design, and I should create more inclusive assignment structures that help diagnose the way people learn, okay? I like that. So specifically, I like Claude saying, would you like to keep your existing work style but reach other people? And I said yes, because I don't plan to change my work style. So then I said, all right, I'm not actually my dad, but I understood him. So now explain it like I'm me. And it gives me some code. This is pretty bad code, but the idea is actually quite easy. And this is how I teach. It's really true. You try stuff, something doesn't work. I tell students in class, you owe me 3 errors. Like, I need to see syntax errors, right? Because they have to learn how to fix errors. And you're going to always make syntax errors. It's impossible to avoid it. Your finger will slip. You'll make a typo. So if they don't make the errors, they can't learn. Again, some people find this very difficult to work with. So this is my approach. Try it. If it breaks, learn from it, and you find something neat. Like I found things Claude could do that no one has told me about. And I would say this is what someone who, for example, my ex-wife or a number of my students, people who would be really good in quality assurance, software testing, they're very, very thorough. The best tester I ever knew, Marina, oh man, this is exactly how she thought. So that helps me understand a lot about myself. So then I kind of got into an issue about tech stuff that you don't need to care about. But if you say, give me a visualization, Claude does really good visualizations. I like these because they're vector-oriented and not. Like Copilot will make sure this is recording properly. I think we're good. If somebody was online, I would check my volume levels, but that's okay. Watch the VOD later. Okay. I'm just sitting here in the snow with my dog, so I thought I would try to do something useful. Okay, so that led to this. So I said, Claude, can you give me a wireframe visualization? I think vector visualization would work too, but the point is you don't want a picture. If you ask like Bing for a picture of this, you're going to get slop with weird misspelled words, right? This is very good. So I'm going to look at this one. So this is a functional artifact. So I like it. So I'm going to do the following. So I'm going to download a copy of that to look at later because I don't know what a TXS file is, right? I don't have to. That's the great thing about this. If you look at it, it's a web page, so that's not so complicated. Okay. But if I hit publish in Claude, now this is true for a lot of sites, but I like Claude. I'm going to copy the link, and then there we go. And so now I can give this link to absolutely anyone, and it will be there for as long as my Claude account stays active. It always says, this may not be real. So I don't check this because I like to be reminded that this is user-generated content. So now I'm going to have my students look at this and see if it helps, right? If anyone looks at this later, a great thing to do would say, are these things useful, right? So this makes perfect sense to me. I think this is understandable of what they want to do. So Claude suggested in a visual aid to do these things. So to say, okay, here's the path. The path is very wide. And as long as you stay on the path, you are going to succeed. Then what I'm gradually going to do is narrow the path to get where you want. But I don't want to start too narrow because then you're going to have a fear of failure. At least that's my intent. So I thought that was interesting, just the workflow process. So now I have an artifact up. And I could just close this if I want to, so I'll do that. And this brings up the Pomodoro study method. And that's 25/5, so that's great. And that's probably true. So the idea would be I would usually roll through about half an album, take a break, and repeat. So this is good. So now we've actually gotten into Claude wants to teach me how to use the React JavaScript framework. That's definitely beyond the scope of this video. I'm going to save that for later. But the point I wanted to make was hopefully this explains sort of what I do. I try stuff and see what works, and that's why I document it. I am very interested in working with all types of learners and learning how to better reach them. So please like and subscribe and leave me some comments. I'm absolutely serious about that. All right, this is TeacherBot signing off. Yes, I'm terrible at streaming.